The following is a video tutorial in order to help you remove and replace the electric door lock actuators on a 2000 Ford Excursion. In this example, I'll be replacing the rear passenger door actuator. I've seen several videos and write-ups on the internet regarding this procedure, but they all seem extremely complicated and time-consuming. I think I've found a way to do it a lot quicker. It takes about 15 minutes to do. The Ford dealership will charge you approximately $300 for parts and labor to do this job. There are some videos online that even show you how to repair your existing actuator, so this job can be free of charge. Otherwise, online you can find new actuators from Ford for about $50. I hope you enjoy the video and find it useful. Please remember, I am neither a professional videographer nor mechanic. Okay, our first step is to remove the door panel. The tools we'll need is a plastic pry bar for the trim pieces, a small flat blade screwdriver, a ratchet with an extension and 7mm socket, and an 11mm socket. Okay, so we'll start off by removing this switch cover. And removing this connector here. This exposes one of the screws that holds on the door panel. The other door panel is under this reflector. We'll get to that with a small flat blade screwdriver. Just lightly here, and here's the other screw. Now that we've removed the window switch and the two 7mm screws that hold the door panel on, we just raise the door panel straight up and it comes right off. Then we carefully peel back this vapor barrier that has adhesive on the back in order to gain access to the hardware that's in this area. Next, we need to remove this door handle plate. It's through this area that we'll gain access to the power door lock actuator. The plate is held on by two 11mm nuts that are accessible through this hole and this smaller hole that you'll find under this rubber grommet. We'll take a look inside and we can see there's the first of the two and the other one is right here. So with our ratchet and extension, we'll remove that now. Now that we've removed the fasteners from behind, just pull out on this door handle plate. You'll see this yellow plastic grommet that's holding a rod on there. Simply pry with a regular screwdriver and rotate the handle to remove the door handle plate. Now that the door handle plate has been removed, we can look inside and see the power door lock actuator, which is that black unit right there. We'll gain access to the actuator through this hole, and we will not need to remove the entire door lock assembly as other videos on YouTube have shown. Those other methods do work, but it takes a lot more time and it gets complicated and you have to remove a lot of linkage and it's really tight quarters in there. So this procedure will save you a lot of time. Next, through the door handle opening, we will remove this white plastic piece which holds on the wire harness. Okay, this is the top of the actuator as viewed through the door handle hole, and you see this metal piece here is what the actuator slides onto to mount. So in order to remove it, we'll just place our pry bar behind that and pry it off. As easy as that. And in the back there, you can see where the actuator pin hooks into the door lock linkage. Now it's partially undone. I'm going to reach through the inside of the door and remove the actuator the rest of the way. It's that easy. From behind the door, we're going to reach inside the door to grasp the actuator, and we will view through the square hole in the door as we raise up the actuator until we see the electrical connector. Then through the square hole, it's very easy to insert a screwdriver and pry off the electrical connection. And that completes the removal of the old door lock actuator. I decided to go with the original equipment actuator. Cost a little bit more, but I had a bad experience with a Chinese one I bought before that gave me about 6 months of service. The original one that went out here gave me about 12 years of service. Has one electrical connection here, and on the other side, this is what goes into the linkage and actuates the lock. Why it's made of plastic, I have no idea. I'd like to remind you that it's very important that this pin on the new actuator be installed exactly in the same place as the pin from the old actuator. And that is inside that yellow grommet that you see in the center of the video screen right now. Also, be sure to test the unit so you can be sure that the electrical and mechanical connections are all correct before you complete the installation. The actuator mounts to the door lock mechanism by a system of 2 metal rails. The top one slides into this top slot, the lower one slides into this lower slot. In the video showing the disassembly, we easily saw where we pried the unit off of the top rail. What we didn't see is that at the same time it was sliding off a lower rail. So when you install the new actuator, be sure that you are simultaneously sliding onto the top rail and bottom rail. That will assure proper alignment and proper operation. When you get it right, it should snap into place firmly, and you won't be able to move it side to side as it'll be firmly mounted on both rails. The installation procedure is just the opposite of the removal procedure. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you save about $250 in labor from your local mechanic or Ford dealership. I honestly believe this is the most efficient way to replace these door actuators, but I'm always open to suggestions or comments.